These are keys from a Fender Rhodes Mark I keyboard, dated roughly 1973. One of my friends repairs or rebuilds ancient musical instruments, whether they are transistors or vacuum tubes. He's a good one. On this keyboard, the keys with the little red cross are damaged. The last one is not. He gave it to me as a reference. What happens is that on this keyboard structure, on the bottom, there are rectified pins that come here, with a very precise diameter, around which the keys are rocking. That's why there's velvet on the top. This hole on the 6 keys that are damaged has become oval, which means that when you put them together, there's a defect. The keys are moving from back to front and from front to back. This one, the hole remained round. It's perfectly calibrated, there is no problem. What we will have to do is put back some material around here and then drill a new hole exactly sized on the 6 keys so that they can take their place back without moving. The difficulty is not to make a hole of the right size. With a good set of drills, this is not an issue. The difficulty is to make a hole of the proper size at the exact distance from the face of the keyboard. We decided to choose the front face as a reference. So what we have to do now is that all the holes have to be at the exact same distance from the front face. The keys are all built the same way. This is the place where the pin comes. If I flip it back, this is where the rectified pins comes. What you see immediately is that it's hollow and there's very little thickness of wood remaining. To define what thickness of wood I had to leave, I made a few measurements with the caliper and the depth gauge, internally and externally, and I found 2.5 millimeters. What we decided to do to put back some material is to cut a groove. It's not obvious on the camera, but we want to be able to glue back a piece of wood, a strong piece of wood. This is an oak stick. We will mill the key. We will put some small pieces that we will flush on both sides and on the top. What's important is that that piece of oak has to press in 2.5 millimeters exactly. This piece of oak, I'm gonna glue it with the grain sideways. On the part, the grain goes this way. Why will I do that? This piece of oak has been planed and thickened. I know its width, I will measure it, but it's square and true. I just have to make a right-sized groove, including space for the glue, and we should have a tight fit with a good gluing. If I had decided to make the same groove but with the oak piece the other way, I would have to be able to cut a very small piece with a precision around 1/10 of a millimeter. That's almost impossible. The grain will be crossed. That's not an issue because the oak I'm using is much denser and much stronger than the original wood of the key. Once I will have put some material back on the key, I will just have to drill a centered hole right in the middle of the key. The pin has a 3.8 millimeters diameter, so we decided to make a 3.9 millimeters hole, exactly located at 205 millimeters from the front face of the key. Of course, to make my life easier, none of the keys has exactly the same width. If I take the caliper quickly, this one around 13, the other one more than 13 and a half. and that one around 11. It means that the machining sequence I will use and the way I will hold them on the CNC, for each and every key I will have to find its center individually. Here the key is placed on the workbench, flat, that's good. But what I have to do is to machine the other face. To cut the groove, glue the new piece of oak, and then after flushing it, drill a hole. That becomes complicated because there it's unsupported. This height, which is the most important, is not the same as this height, which is not the same as that height. So all the difficulty of this mini project is to find a way to support this key, to hold them strongly and securely on the CNC, just to make a small groove and a hole. That is the challenge.